Good evening everyone. I'm Lois Sabalo once again, reporting for the continuation of Module 2, Lesson 3 and 4. Let's go with Lesson 3, entitled Social Studies Instruction. First, let's have introduction. The primary goal of social study education is to give student knowledge, skill, and competency to be active, informed citizens who are able to think critically, understand, and explain the perspective of others, make judgment, and communicate ideas effectively. So, klaro kayo, elaborated siya, no? So, ang goal sa social study, ang tanan nga kabatan-unan makabaton og knowledge or kaalam, skill, competency nga mahimong active o citizen nga naay alam sa palibot, especially and able sila nga makaisip gamit ilahang mapanuring kaisipan o masabtan nila o mahatag nila ang tamang explanation sa sarili nilang pananaw and also tama nga decision o dapat right judgment, and lastly communication nga sakto o epektibo. Let's go with the social studies learning standards. Now, the K-12 social studies learning standard consists of essential academic learning requirements or EELR and grade level expectations that describe what students should know and able to do in civics, economics, geography, history, and social studies skills. Now continue. We will have the part of this is cooperative learning. Learners may be done work collaboratively. When we say collaboratively, magtinabangay, mag-contribute ang matag miyembro nimo. So isa ka activity nga group sila, so magtinabangay o mag-contribute sa unsay mabuhat nila to solve the problem using the variety of reference sources. And if a unit has been initiated properly nga sakto ang ilahang pag-mugna, pupils we have been seeing challenge in the asking a question. Now, what is working on committees can be beneficial for pupils. Says they may select the topic or problem they would not want to work on. Most we call strategies for developmental activities on learner social studies. Mabitaw na karon no, gitagaan jud og bugat nga percentage sa grado nila ang performance task. Kaya dito makitaan ang gitawag nato nga cooperative learning, which they collaborate their ideas. Next, strategies for developmental. So ito yung mga estratehiya na activities on learning studies is to start reading from the basal textbook. Here pupils may read secure information for problem solving. So there are 5 of it. Number 1 strategy is they might also read to extend knowledge, such as reading to learn more about the topic that were discussed. Number 2, pupils might also read to secure the vital fact. Number 3, pupils should learn to scan the subject matter in the text to notice if the subject matter surveyed has wanted content. Number 4, the skimming of content is important in reading to the notice important fact that meant to be learned. And number 5, reading to follow directions in very valuable in school and throughout life. a person reads direction so that proper completion of project is possible. So mabitaw nino bago ni nga bago ni siya sa tulunghaan labi na sa high school, they already have their debates. So diha makitaan ang critical thinking sa bata. Nagamit niya through getting information from different resources. And naapa, nowadays, kita itong aging panahon, nibalik man jud ko eskwela. Sa una, wala pa sa colleges ang gitawag nato nga research. So karon pati elementary, nag-engage na sila and they are being trained into the skills called research studies. So this is one valuable things that you develop such activity. Kids nowadays have their critical thinking. Next, we go with on learning social studies, and this again using workbooks to achieve objectives, and the use of workbooks in social studies were being frowned upon by numerous educators. If a workbook activity is complex, the teacher might be able to make it more sequential. Perhaps the teachers mainly needs to teach selected context and generalization so that the new content is understandable and students successful learners in workbook activities. Mao ni siyang ginatawag karon actually kaning modular, and that particular module na siya specific objectives skills na dapat i-target sa teacher. Next is activities on learning social studies like using slides in teaching. Kani common na ni siya. This would be very suitable to show to pupils in an ongoing unit on study. So, dili ni siya bago karon. Since then, although wala jud siya intensify sa maging panahon, but now the students are experiencing common use of slides, kaning mga PowerPoint. So, di ba, kaning mga new generation, mga Gen Z, how na siya kayo ni sila mumugna og PowerPoint. So, sa una, manila paper, good ako na aptan. Next is using film trip in teaching social studies. Film trip can be used much slides to initiate, develop, and cultivate a thematic unit in social studies. So, one example ani kana ganing in one topic nag-target siya og differentiated activity wherein pasok sa iyahang competency, such as for example ang topic is all about mga bayani. So dito makamugna ka like using the film trip o kanang gitawag na nato nga di na tawag dapat drama we call that one as film trips. Kanang maghimo sila og scene or scenario target like for example ang bayani. So most of the time mga pangyayari sa buhay ng mga bayani o buong kasaysayan, pero hindi lahat. Target lang doon kung ano yung natutunan, and can be used much like slides to initiate, develop, and it could also that overhead projector. And it could also that overhead projector daghan na kaayo klase karon nga makapalit na gani og ultimo mga estudyante. Usaon na mahal kaning estudyante. Next one is using information projected on the screen. Pupils will see orally how the given figures differ from one another. Most of the time karon, because pandemic was happened, daghan na kaayo tag nakitaan nga mga materials to use, sample mga slides, mga template, samples nga igo na lang nato siya gamiton to be exact nga katong gitarget nimo nga topic na adyo didto. One thing ang TV nakamugna ang TV ang dipid ana na nga series jud ang pagtudlo sa social studies. Like for example ang history, so lisod man jud na siya no, but nowadays is easy kay naay YouTube, naay mga slides available, and karon dali na lang jud siya. That is useful. Next is activity on learning social studies. We call exertions in the social studies. What is it? To bring in more reality into teaching and learning situation. So, kung ang topic maaring mabigyan ng buhay ng teacher. Teachers have pupils visit places and experience first-hand informations or primary resources nila. That which is concrete and real. Example, mga museum or karon nowadays we have seen the light. Dili lang siya autobiography or biography sa hero. Naala joy mga palabas. That is one concrete and real sources. Number 2, teachers must supervise students outside the school premises. Halimbawa, mag-film viewing man. Sa una, ma-remember na ako, dalon mi sa among teacher sa sinihan. So, nowadays, pwede na kay kada halos makita na ako ang mga elementary classroom, even ang mga private school na sila'y widescreen maunang lead. So palabas dito wala na sila nag-film viewing. This one example of activities on learning social abilities. Now in classroom, in conclusion, the social studies teachers needs to use the variety of learning opportunities in teaching pupils. Ano man, kaya nowadays, ang mga bata karon ma-outsmart na ta gani sa ilaha. So moingon pa, sir, makita naman ko ana. No? So teachers opportunity using the technology learning opportunities. There are there to assist pupils to achieve carefully chosen objectives, and these objectives must be relevant and important. Dili kay mawala lang kasa most essential learning competency mao nang gawas karon, no? Gitarget should unsa dapat matun-an sa mga bata. Okay, that's all for lesson 3. Now, let's go with lesson 4, taxonomy. Now, in taxonomy means a set of classification principles or structure. So when we see it, nana diha ang components na dapat nato matunan into what is taxonomy. It means set of classification principles or structure of giving how student learn. Domains means category o panaglahi. The most well-known descriptions of learning domains was developed by Benjamin Bloom. Mo nang gitawag siya og Bloom taxonomy. Next, so we have here the affective, psychomotor, and cognitive. So unsa man ni siya nga domain? So let's start with affective domain. Affective domain is about emotionally learning or the feeling, the concern with the attitude, appreciation, the interest, the value, and adjustment. So mao na siya ang affective domain is more on reasoning, more on the emotion, the value. That's affective. Next is psychomotor. When we say psychomotor, it is a domain wherein physical learning makitaan. It is called doing. So, familiar man taan ang learning by doing, no? So, makaton ka kung imong ma-experience because, again, as what I have learned from different professor, I have been through, it is in learning by doing we experience, and we cannot give what you don't have. Dili nimo mahatag ang unsay dapat nimo ihatag kung wala ka experience. It is the emphasis, speed, accuracy, dexterity, and physical skills. So more on kamot, physical. Next, on Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective, it is what do you think of when you hear the word taxonomy? What is taxonomy? Biologica, class 2, asylum, class, order, family, genus, species, variety. Na in Bloom's taxonomy, our behavior are taught unsa daw behavior are taught. Matudluan ang behavior, and to be cumulative, it would be combined, it going to from simple to more complex o pahirap na pahirap, and denotes about the mental behavior. Now, so makita nato, let's have this. These are the cognitive domains. Now, in Bloom's taxonomy, is in order to learning or in order of learning, we have 6 levels. They have 6. So, mag-start ta sa baba. So, 6 levels start with knowledge. Means kaalaman. And when we get knowledge, you will acquire comprehensions. Makatatak na siya sa imuhang hunahuna, and we will store knowledge. As comprehension, you can apply it, and you will result what thing into analyzing or analysis. After that, you close the synthesis, and last is the evaluation. Now here, Bloom's taxonomy, Benjamin S. Bloom, started 1913. Nakataw si Bloom's taxonomy. Now, from 1909, the revised Bloom's taxonomy. From 1956, the higher order thinking skill. So, pasakata from lower order thinking skill, let's start kanina knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Now in 2021, nausab na siya. So, nauna na karon ang pinakababa ang remembering. So, mauna siya kung sa una comprehension. The lower order thinking skills start with remembering. Then, when you remember, you understand, and upon understand, you apply, and the application, there's analysis. Then, afterward, the evaluation, and third, you can create. That's a revised taxonomy. Next is, let's have number 1, knowledge. So in knowledge, there is recalling, remembering, and recognizing. So it is more on our stored knowledge. This emphasis facts, information, and specifics involves remembering materials in form very close on how it was originally presented. So emphasize jud niya kung unsa ang kaalaman or information niya specific unsa jud tong insakto nga na involve ang remembering materials para makuha jud very close ang unsa jud tong dapat matun-an to the original presented. Now, next is depend upon memorizing or identifying fact without asking beyond. So here, as you have knowledge, depende ni siya kung unsa yung matiman-an. Maunang na-identify nimo unsa to that without being asked naad na sa imuha. Next is comprehension. Comprehension is called the describing and explaining. Unsa daw? Imuhang huna-huna ang imong gi-describe tapos you are doing an explanation. This is called the grasping the meaning and extend the material. So kung unsa tong imong gamit nga materials ginapakita niya ang comprehension wherein you are grasping imong gitan-aw kung unsa ang pasabot tong imong gibasa. Okay, next is deals with the content and involves availability to understand what is being communicated. Number 3, application. Apply information. So, tanan natong natun-an na dyan applications. There is no reason for us to acquire knowledge kung dili nato gamiton, kung di nato i-apply. So, you must apply the information. Okay, number 1, using what is remembered and comprehension. So, magamit yun na nato ang atong natun-an especially in comprehensions. Number 2, apply a learning to real life. Ang atong tinuod nga kinabuhi. Because remember, social studies is your real life, your everyday life. Your socialization is your everyday life and concrete situation. You will use that stored knowledge, ability, and it is ability to use knowledge and learn materials in meaningful ways. Okay, so that's all for lesson 4. So I'll give you the thought for today. The best teachers are those who show you where to look but don't tell you what to see. Okay, thank you so much for listening and good night everyone.